So we've got this little Chihuahua. His name is Rico. And I'm sitting here working on this robot, right? So I'm working on it. And I'm like, yeah, I'm so smart. I got this thing to work. This is awesome. And he comes in. So he comes in and he drops this off and walks out. And I'm sure he's thinking, dude, you're doing all that work for nothing. We've got a perfectly good functioning one of these things already. Yeah, that's what I got to deal with over here. All right, guys, today's Trek into DIY Tech. We're finally going to take a look at the operating system for this guy. And it's an Arduino, so it's actually called a sketch when you use the Arduino IDE. So we're going to take a look at how I put that on there, how what we're using for Bluetooth control. We're using RemoteXY for Bluetooth control. We're not going to get too deep into it. We're going to split that off into its own thing. But yeah, we're just going to take a high-level look at how this guy moves around. All right, let's see how well this thing stands. First of all, before we even get into the code, so this is a very, very basic setup that I've got on there. So Bluetooth is coming into here. We'll see which pin in a moment when we get into the actual code. So Bluetooth is hooked up there. It's going to connect to this, and I'll show you the beauty of this system real quick. But first, let's see how this thing stands. So we got battery power, servo power. Okay, so you can see what's going on there. So I believe the length of these legs is causing us, there's too much torque for these little servos to handle. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut these in half. First thing we're going to do before we go any further. It was a cool idea for clearance, but I think, yeah, I don't think the servos are strong enough. Alright, let's try to stand again and see what happens. Battery pack is on. Servo power is on. Oh, okay. That's quite a bit better, huh? I believe it is. Alright. Now that we got that fixed, let's get down to the programming. Alright, so if you guys aren't familiar with RemoteXY, you should check it out. I mean, it's pretty cool. You graphically lay your buttons out and make your user interface, and it's all online. You can save it to your folder. You can also share your folders so other people can use these. Just note that if you are using the free version, you're only going to have 4 buttons or four objects that you can use. So you can go over here and grab some elements from this pre-made palette here and pull them over. Once you've got everything laid out more or less the way you want it, go ahead and save your project. And then once you have all that done, always save everything before you. We'll go into greater depth when we actually do a RemoteXY video. This is just to get you familiar with these things before we go to the code. And so it'll produce something like this, and all you have to do is copy and paste this into your Arduino IDE. And so I've already done that. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at what that looks like. And you can see here, this is very cool in that every device that you use, so you put the app on your device, connect via Bluetooth to the Arduino, all of these buttons and elements that you saw are they're stored here. And so what happens is once you connect, all of this gets sent over to the device, you'll see in a second, and it reconstructs your GUI on each one of your devices. So you can use any device basically, plug in, and your GUI is going to look the same because it's coming from the device you're controlling itself. So yeah, all of that goes across. These are the variables that we're going to have to communicate with back and forth. And so this stores all of the states that the controls are in the GUI, and if the elements are an output on your screen, you can also affect them here, meaning that you can send back battery level information and display it in the GUI. And again, we'll cover all of that in greater detail in another video, but I'm just showing you this so that you can see more or less how this robot's being controlled. And what we're doing is we're using these canned routines, right? So we've got this whole section that tells the legs what positions to be in. And so there's a lot of ways to do this, and the reason we're doing it this way is to get it going real quick and easy. We're using a combination of canned routines and triggers, right? So we're going to go back up here and see what's coming in on the joystick. And depending on what we're pulling in on the joystick, for example, if we want to rotate left, so once we press that button on the device, information is going to come back across here. And then we're going to execute this basically. So rotate left, the button is pressed. We see it here as a 1, right, or a high, logic high, or 1. If we compare what's coming in, which is this, to what we want to get, which is this, so therefore when it's pressed, it's a logic high. We're going to execute this, which is we're going to go down here, and we're going to do a move rotate left, right? So we pressed the rotate left button, compared it, got a 1. That's high, so we do that, and there it is. And so I'm going to show you what that looks like on there. And we've also got a move stand, right? So at the end of each one of these movements, to make it really easy, we're gonna rotate left and stand, rotate left and stand, and that puts us that sets us up for the next move. So if you do a rotate left, you stand, and then it waits, and if you do a rotate right, it'll rotate right and then stand. You're always in that starting position. And again, there's a lot of ways, you can have inverse kinematics and all of that to figure out what positions your legs are and things like that. There's many ways to get a robot to move, but This is one of the easy ones. So I'll show you what that looks like now on the robot. All right, so as you guys can see, I already have RemoteXY installed on this phone. This is an old, I keep my old cell phones. I don't trade them in because you never get the whole value of the phone. So I just keep them and use them as controllers. So we're gonna start it, and you can see I've already connected to it once. So we have that profile there, and you can just once you've added a profile by going to the plus sign, selecting what type of connection. It's Bluetooth, and then it'll start searching, and you select it from the ones that pop up. We've already done that, so we're not gonna go through and do that. And again, we'll go into greater depth when we do the RemoteXY. So now it's searching, right? So we're gonna turn on battery pack, and once it connects to the Bluetooth, you can see the Bluetooth flashing there, and it's pretty quick. I mean, it depends on the connection speed between your robot and your mobile device, but there it is. So you can see it's got a pretty much a full battery there. I'm gonna turn the servos on now. I have them on separate so that I can do troubleshooting without using up the whole battery by having these guys on all the time. And you'll see I'm going to show you how the antennae respond now on that screen. We're going to push the right one in and get it to click, and you can see that the output of that shows up here on the sensors. So we'll do the left one now, and what you can do is you can use that to do some automatic responses. And so having coded it at this time, because I'm just showing you right how all this is going to work, we may need a third video to do all of this. But the idea would be that if it sensed something when you didn't have Bluetooth connected, it could actually move on its own and avoid the obstacle. So now we're going to do a left move on here, rotate left. And so I have it on the slowest speed so that you can see what's actually going on. And you can see that it'll move all its legs, and then it'll go to the stand position, which centers all the legs, and then it has that little bit of a turn to it. Let's do one more. We'll get it to 45 degrees here. And you can see, again, it's not the most stable gait, but it demonstrates what we've got going on here. Now we'll do a right turn. And so it's see, and we'll do two more so that we'll try to get it back into its original rotation. But that's it. And so I've also added a stride height here so that I could basically and I'll turn the other camera on so that you can get a better view of what it's doing there. So I figured that if there was ever a time when you always have natural organisms that will adjust their stride height to get over things. We do it when we, move our legs over a fence to get over something. And so that is a reference point that moves the center point of the servos when they're at rest. And so that affects everything. And so when we make the movements to rotate, we are now sitting at a higher level. And that goes for, every position through there. But that's that. Now I'm going to show you something. Real quick that was something that made the robots look more natural, and I addressed this in another video, but I'll show you real quick on this one so you can see what's going on. All right, I'm going to go ahead and plug this back in so that I can access the Arduino and upload the change that we're going to make real quick. And yeah, some of you may find this funny, some of you may find this a little creepy, but it was something that I used to add to some of the robots that I would make in order to give them more natural movement, which is that 0 position. I would add a random offset, negative and positive, to it, and I have it commented out here, and we'll just remove that, and we'll upload again, and you'll see what it does to the so we're done uploading. As soon as it reboots here, and so okay, so now having done this, and we can have different speeds at which that to which that moves, and different so we have different amplitudes and different speeds at which we can introduce that jitter, and it really gives it the effect of something more organic than it is, right? And that used to make people uneasy, because knowing that it's a robot and seeing it do something like that looks kind of organic, always made everybody nervous. But that is how that was done. So now, having shown you how all of this is put together, you can go on the website, go to the resource page, and you'll be able to download the sketch, the Arduino sketch, as well as some other resources that you can use if you want to recreate this project. You'll be able to do that. So I think that's everything that I wanted to show you on here. And as always, I'm not an expert on any of this stuff. I just like to tinker around a lot, and I like to share what I've learned while I'm tinkering around, and hopefully it makes you comfortable enough for you to go ahead and go out and try this yourself. I really do appreciate the time that you spend with me. Hey, if you want to keep these things going, like, subscribe, share, and we'll keep the videos going. As I said, we're going to do a more of an in-depth look at RemoteXY in a later video. Somebody's asked for it, so we're going to do it. We're going to do a real-time putting together something on a breadboard, and actually putting the elements in the GUI, start to finish, lights, buzzer, whatever it is that we have on the bench at the moment, and we'll explore it that way. So we'll see you in the next video.